All right. Welcome, everyone. My name is Cesar Trabanco, and as many of you already know, I'm part of the Global Chamber headquarters team, in charge of connections, introductions, helping members, helping chapters grow, and in charge of a couple of the events that we do monthly, and the League of Opportunities is one of them. This is a session where we highlight five, six members, give them the space to tell us about their background. We like to learn about the person, the business, and the opportunities, the connections they want, and how they can help companies around the world. Before I start with the first speaker today, just as a reminder for anyone that's been joining in the last couple of minutes, we are using Zoom webinar, and the vast majority of you are in the attendee area. We will be inviting you all to be in the panelist area because we like to see the faces. We like to see the room active. It doesn't mean that you need to speak. Still, if you want to remain in the attendee area, that's fine. All right. So I would like to start with, I think I saw Matthew Wicks from Auxilium. Matthew Wicks, there you go. I see you there. Matthew, they're experts in helping companies land and hire and do business in the GCC countries, and so that's a hot area. Independently of what's happening during the last couple of months, is an area that everyone is looking for business, and so Matthew is going to tell us a little bit more about that. Welcome, Matthew.
Thanks, Cesar. I've got a brief presentation, so I'll just pull that up and take you guys through it if that's okay.
That's more than perfect, yes.
Bear with me 1 second. I don't use Zoom all that often, so hopefully this goes to plan. Can you see that?
We can, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so look, good evening, everyone. I'm Matt Weeks. I'm the Director of Strategic Growth at Auxilium, and I'm going to talk to you today about expanding across the GCC region, so UAE, Saudi, Qatar, Bahrain, Oman, and Kuwait. A quick introduction to Auxilium. Auxilium is a GCC-focused and tech-enabled employment and business expansion consultancy. Our core services are employer of record, and I'm sure many of you are familiar with that terminology, but just in case you aren't, effectively what that means is we act as the legal employer of employees on behalf of clients when that client wants to deploy an individual into a location or a country where they don't have a legal entity of their own. We provide a range of corporate and residency services to businesses and individuals, and we have staffing solutions under a different brand under the Auxilium umbrella, which is Workforce Plus. Our senior leadership team have circa 80 years of in-industry experience, so we really understand the spaces that we operate in. We service over 400 clients, and that client portfolio we've built up over a period of only kind of 4.5, 5 years. We have a team of specialists who really understand the region and the nuances of employing people in the region. And we currently have 4 offices across the GCC. So we have offices in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, an office in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia, and another office in Doha in Qatar. So the solutions that we provide in the other 3 countries, we currently service through what we call as specialist in-country partners. A brief introduction to me as I'm a member of Auxilium's founding team. I've been based in the UAE for the last 15, I think this might even be my 16th year. And for the last kind of 12, 13 years, I have worked alongside companies to help them enter and grow and scale across the region that Auxilium actively services. So, I mean, Cesar touched on it. The last couple of months have been eventful, let's say, but I'm very kind of adamant about the fact that the GCC is experiencing a very swift and confident bounce back with lucrative kind of government support and initiatives for the private sector. I think we'll see things pick up very quickly. And to be honest, having been here, for the vast majority of the conflict, business hasn't really stopped. And the sectors that we've seen the most growth in, not just recently, but over our kind of 4.5, 5 year tenure, is technology, AI, and data centers more recently. So you can see the Saudi, I'm sure you guys have seen in the news, Saudi and the UAE are very much positioning themselves as regional tech leaders. Financial services, there is a huge number of fintechs that are launching across the region, almost feels like on a weekly basis. Logistics and construction, which I think particularly the UAE and Saudi will really hone in on to get the business or get the country back on track. I think there's a huge amount of infrastructure that was planned, and I think those countries will do everything in their power to accelerate a lot of those projects. And then professional services, so strong demand for legal, HR, management consulting, and relocation expertise as a number of international firms, maybe not so much so recently, but a number of international firms have in the past entered the region and looked to scale within the region very quickly. So I wanted to kind of throw a question out to the audience at this point. I don't know if anybody has ever considered hiring or expanding into the GCC. Is anybody already here and doing business? And if so, what felt like the biggest challenge? Was it compliance, cost, local entity setup, the visa regime, or the complexity of finding the right talent? Over to you guys.
Thanks, Matthew. Anyone here that can tell a little bit about their experience in the GCC? Nikhil, go ahead.
Well, fortunately, I'm more or less from the same part of the world, although we are in Asia Pacific and Middle East is just next door neighbor, I mean, as a region. So we have had people working in Saudi Arabia, in Oman, Qatar, UAE, Bahrain, Kuwait. We understand the region there, we speak the language there, and fortunately, we haven't faced much of an issue except for my clients. I'm an international business advisor, Mr. Matthew, except for getting hold of the right partner. So there's pretty much 6 to 9 months of due diligence before we finalize a partner, whether it's in Saudi or any of the Middle East or GCC region countries. So I think, yeah.
And when you, Nikhil, when you talk about finding the right partner to do what specifically?
So the right partner, most of the countries have a rule that you cannot operate your company. Let's say I'm a British firm or I'm a North American firm. I cannot operate my company most of the times in sensitive sectors without partnering with the local firm there. So for example, like in Saudi, I need to find a local partner to be able to operate in that particular sector. So, that's where the challenges come.
And that's exactly the issue that we solve with our employer of record solution. So we act as the vehicle for international companies to deploy people into region for those people to live and work compliantly, and effectively act as an extension of their international HR function, taking care of the sponsorship. So these individuals sit under our visas. They have an employment contract with us. We take care of all of their statutory benefits as per the local labor law. We process their payroll as per their employment contract every month and provide that kind of employment-related HR administrative support throughout their employment life cycle. So maybe we can pick up the conversation outside of this session. Maybe there's things that we could do together, Nikhil.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you.
Anybody else, or shall I carry on?
I see Krum. Krum, let's take one more. Go ahead, Krum.
Hello, I know that it's very difficult to go to Gulf market without consultant. So everything is connected with some groups which have influence in this region. We produce food supplements and herbal extracts, which is organic. It's good. It's very high quality. And soon I have a meeting with one French guy, which is Arabian. He have also offices in in Dubai and other countries, and he also have a very big team. He is consultant, but he don't work in consultant like fee or other. His company buy from other countries and sell directly to Gulf region. So most of the consultants working with fee and percentage, but his system is working very good because he buy and sell. Everybody know him. He have already have step on this step on this market. So they have some other systems, not just like consultant and like other model, which I think is working maybe better.
Yeah, and look, I think if I assume he's kind of on the ground here in the region, and in my kind of 15, 16 years of experience of being here, I think it's in order to do business successfully here and on a long-term basis and develop a real footprint in this region, you have to have people here. It's still a very much relationship-driven market, and you can't build those relationships with people dipping out and in and out of the region for a few weeks at a time. It really needs people here to develop those long-standing relationships that the business or your businesses will be able to benefit long-term. And that's typically what we do. So companies that are entering this region for the first time, it will often be sales, business development, account management that they'll send in first, and they'll facilitate that through a company like ours to avoid having to jump fully into setting up with all of the costs and complications that come with that. So we're almost a way of kind of dipping the toe, developing that footprint, developing that understanding, and then, as I say, when it makes operational and commercial sense, companies set up, and we can continue to support them in various capacities that I'll take you through next. I don't want to take up too much of the time, so I'll keep going if that's okay, Cesar.
Please, let's continue. Thanks.
Yeah, so just to give you kind of a few more or a bit more detail around exactly what we do as a business. Employer of record, as I say, that's across all 6 of the GCC countries, and hopefully I've given you guys a pretty good understanding of exactly what's involved. We also help companies incorporate, which is a natural evolution for us. So we have a lot of companies that come in under the EOR model, and then 18, 24 months down the line, they've developed that footprint, they've developed that understanding, they want to set up and support people or sponsor people directly. So we help them with that incorporation. And then we continue to support a lot of those clients with a range of post-incorporation services to help their business continue running smoothly. So tax registration and compliance, accounting, bookkeeping, HR advisory, which is typically your one-off services around policy development, employment contract template development, and so on. PRO services, which is mainly focused on visa processing, renewals, cancellations, and then processing payroll, which basically means that we plug those HR administrative gaps, so people don't need to hire those resources in-house, and they can focus the direct hiring for the people that are going to help their business grow and generate revenue. Staffing solutions, I mentioned Workforce Plus Over, that's very much focused on bringing skilled and unskilled workers in from overseas. So that's a full kind of end-to-end recruitment and employment solution. And that typically services the construction, aviation, retail, logistics, and oil and gas sectors. Residency services is more for individuals. So we help individuals that are eligible with the processing of their golden visas, which is your 10-year residency in the UAE, freelance permits, remote work visas, investor visas, and dependent visas. That's very much a UAE-centric product for now. And then relocation services, which is a relatively new string to the bow. And it's not something that we deliver in-house, but we've developed a network of partners to help us offer a more holistic mobility ecosystem to our customers and their employees. So that could be anything from shipping of household goods, pet relocation, temporary accommodation on arrival, house search, school search, and so on. In terms of who we'd like to connect with within the chamber, look, any companies that are looking to expand into the GCC, whether it's exploratory at this stage or you're ready to pull the trigger, we're more than happy to support in an advisory or a delivery capacity. Companies that are already here or already doing business here but face the administrative gaps that I mentioned, or have issues with visa quota, maybe due to not managing their nationalization initiatives properly, that's affecting their ability to grow, we can step in and support and make sure that they're growing at the rate that they need to and want to. And then finally, we're always looking for great channel and referral partners, and just to differentiate between the two, a channel partner is typically a company that is working with businesses that are potentially exploring this region. So that could be law firms, that could be relocation companies, that could be RMCs, that could be VCs, private equity firms, incubators, all of which we would like to develop relationships with that could refer those customers to us to support with the GCC element of their growth. And then referral partners, we're always looking to add to that ecosystem that I mentioned. So any great relocation companies, any great DSPs, any great pet relocation company. I mean, the breadth of services is pretty broad, and we're always open to a conversation, whether that's helping people come in or potentially as people are offboarded 2 years down the line and they're looking to relocate somebody else. We're always looking to build kind of bilateral and mutually beneficial relationships that with companies that fall into that space. So that's it from me. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. I hope that was useful and interesting. All of my contact details are there. We'll put the presentation into the chat along with my LinkedIn. And if anybody has any questions that they weren't able to ask or are interested in this part of the world, please don't hesitate to reach out.
Thank you very much, Matthew.
I actually, never mind.
Sorry,
well, if you want to keep moving on, I just had a question, but if you'd like to keep moving on, that's okay too.
Go ahead. Let's just take one more question and we move to Mikhail. Yeah. Okay,
thank you very much. So Matthew, I'm sorry, I'm off camera because I'm taking my car into the shop. However, I had a question for you. So the company that I have, I've been in human resources for over 20 years. And so the company that I have also has the CHRO advisory and the HR advisory and leadership development and things like that. Now I'm in North America, I'm in Arizona. But my question to you is, do you have any services that you offer there? One of the things that I do is offer assistance with companies who are looking to vet out their HRIS technologies and AI, governance and things like that. So I'm just curious, do you have any partners like that currently that you're working with?
No, I don't believe so. So more than happy to kind of pick that up with you offline and okay, explore it further. I mean, we have our own technology in-house that helps kind of provide greater visibility to our customers and their employees on their employment with us. But more than happy to see whether there's a way of working together in the various markets that you service.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Thanks for indulging my additional question.
Pleasure. Thank you very much, guys. I'll mute myself now.
Thank you, Matthew. And if we get time at the end of the hour, we can also come back to the Q&A. Thank you very much. Nikhil, Shep, welcome, Nikhil. We have now been learning a little more about marketing and sales international. So, Nikhil, you got years and years of experience in that. Go ahead, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Caesar. Thank you, Mr. Duck. I saw Mr. Duck somewhere. So, good evening all, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. And I'm pleased to state that we have a multi-country experience of delivering international sales and marketing, partnering with foreign government agencies, partnering with the local partners to deliver impactful results. We lead multi-sector delegations. We also advise private sector firms on getting results in the terms of sales. We set targets, and after setting those targets, we then go on to achieve them, and we work on annual contracts. There's more of implementation, less of theory, and which is where I think we all agree that we are all here to commercially win. When I say commercially win, if I'm a £5 million firm, obviously I wish to grow to a 10, 50, maybe £100 million. So goes for all of us. If if Global Chamber is a $10 million enterprise, obviously it wants to grow to 150 million American dollars. So It's not an easy job. We work on annual contracts. We work with select companies across the world. I'm working with a British law firm with offices in London, Birmingham, Leicester, Surrey, across 45 lawyers with 19 years of experience, helping them get business in British pounds. I'm working with a $70 million group, which is present across US, Europe, Asia, and Australia. And they have pretty much sales agents across the world. They are getting millions of dollars of results. I've been working with them for over 4 years now. And we have a team which does that. So I'll quickly take you through my profile. And maybe then just bear with me a couple of seconds. You should be able to. Here it is. So you should be able to see my screen. And what I would like to do is probably, yes, this is just for your understanding in terms of my firm. So I have years of experience of working overseas. So I started in 2022 as an international business advisory firm after 18 years of experience, particularly working with foreign governments and different countries. So when I say practical marketing advisory, let me just jump on to one of my core services. So we have dealt with more than 124 foreign and 205. This is just a modest number. So for example, let me just go to the first service, uh, which is talking about exactly getting results. So here it is. So the first service is, so for example, this is a client, a $70 million group. I'd set up a target last year. We have the financial year here in terms of April 2025 to March 2026, April to March. So I think you get the hint. So from April 2025 to March 2026, I had agreed on a target of 350 crores Indian rupees, which is approximately $43.21 million American dollars. So by the end of 1st of February 2026, from 1st April 2025 to 1st April 2026, I had actually delivered $43.89 million worth of inquiries. When I say inquiries, these were people who want to buy the products, people who desperately need good quotes, good pricing, good service, good after sales, everything. I believe, Mr. Caesar, just to be on the same page, you are able to see this Google sheet, which is called Envision Practical, correct?
Yes, we were able, Mikhail.
Perfect. So we move on from 43.21 million American dollars worth of inquiries, which was the annual target for one financial year. I actually ended up generating with two of my team members just before 1 month shy, or rather 2 months shy of so within 10 months, we achieved $43.89 million worth of inquiries from genuine importers and buyers, out of which our sales target was given as $4.32 million American dollars. Again, everything is American dollars here. My pointer is going to that area. So the actual conversion, this is where real business happens, people. We meet say 10 people, 10 prospects, 10 importers, 10 buyers of your products or services. You might be a consulting firm, you might be a service sector company, you might be a product company. So we meet 10 people, maybe none of them work out, maybe one or two of them pan out. Success is always a game of numbers. We work on numbers. We do it with hardcore discipline rather than just motivation. We focus on consistency rather than just intensity. And we also focus on progress rather than, perfection, because business across the world is very diverse, complex, and gaining the trust and getting that sales order is very critical to me and the client. So point 42, that is almost $0.42 million. $0.42 million were converted as business at the end of 10 months. Imagine the figures now, people. We have $43.89 million worth of inquiries generated. And we are looking at a conversion of just 0.86%, which is $0.42 million. How much did we lose? That's the first question which I would like to ask. We lost $24.10 million at least in terms of actual sales, because we couldn't code them well, we couldn't maybe adhere to the payment terms, we couldn't stick to the shipment terms. Somebody in Hamburg in the port of Germany wanted the container within 1 month, which was not feasible. The quality certifications were not matching, maybe the technical specs were not matching. So, and then you see this is where the real irony comes. Out of $43.89 million, $24.1 million were lost, $0.42 million were won, and $3.7 million of inquiries were in discussion as on 1st of February 2026. Now, let me bring you to the actual figures of this firm. Before I jump on to that, I would just like to tell you about the service particularly, so that we are on the same page. So the first service which we deal with is marketing advisory, implementation, and hard handling. So we have got successful results. We get successful results for most of our clients via set annual targets. We set up the target for a particular company in the world. We work in most sectors across domestic and export markets. For example, for my British law firm, we used to focus on international markets, but we found that it's now we have changed the focus to working only in the UK, because my law firm is licensed to operate in UK, even though it can help people across the world who want to gain any legal service in UK. So now we are focusing on the British domestic market. And as I said, no theory, only implementation. So let me get that right first. What we have here
Nikhil,
is,
just sorry to
yeah.
interrupt. Just in time checking, if you can wrap up in 2 minutes, and more important, if you can leave us with who's the perfect client for you, and industries, and how we can support you as a community, that would be great. Thanks.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So like this is one of the clients whom I've been working with for a long time, which is a $70 million group with presence across the world, 2,500 people working across the world. So you can see the numbers here. RFQs are the number of inquiries, and sales, the actual sales in American dollars again. So you can see that the sales were quite significant in terms of value for this client, and it generally goes for most of my clients. So that's where my differentiation is. And in terms of ideal clients, I would rather say that it's a case of, so this was almost 590 this was almost 590,000 American dollars worth of sales till date. And of course, there's one expertise which I assure you, maybe very few people can claim of doing, which is guidance in networking with relevant bodies. Most importantly, market entry facilitation, starting from introductions with any foreign government entity to get into those markets. So here's where my ideal client comes into. I'm the contact person. We have teams based across the world who are working remote, online, work from home, and the ideal client is somebody who understands this simple principle. We can make the horse get to the water, but we definitely cannot make the horse drink the water. What I'm trying to tell you is each mindset, each business owner and founder is different. You just cannot guide them without sitting with them for 1 year and understanding how they work and seeing where they could improve. So, I mean, this was my first service. There are two other service areas. If we just have a couple of minutes, I would like to touch that maybe later on, Mr. Caesar. I think I've covered your time slot. So, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Caesar. I open the floor to any questions if anyone has it. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikhil. Any questions from the audience? And Nikhil, you mentioned about the law firms. Can you, in a minute, can you explain a little bit specifically how you work with the law firms?
So they're different. See, I work with service sector companies. I work with financial chartered accountants, CFAs, chartered financial analysts firms. I worked with particularly engineering service firms. So I work with the service sector as well as with the product sector, with law firms particularly. I'm also working with the Australian, some of the top Australian law firms because I work with the Australian government. So the way we work is, number one, we help them get sales. Number two, which is difficult, of course, but then we have various means to do that. Number two, we also help them on the cost cutting front. And there's a range of tools which we deploy. Right now, UK is going through one of its worst years, not just politically, but most importantly, economically. And there's a lot of cost cutting happening across UK firms. So at one end, we are helping the law firm. You name it, any law firm in Australia or North America or Europe, we can help them with the business development part as well as with the administrative and the cost cutting part.
Excellent, excellent. I will follow up on a couple of intros on that side of things. Thank you, Nikhil. Now let's just move to Rebecca De Angel. Rebecca, welcome. I think it's the first time I see you, although we have exchanged a couple of emails. And Rebecca is an expert in biotech innovation, IP law, and all that range of products. Rebecca, welcome.
Thank you, Cesar. Hi, everyone, and thank you for this opportunity. I am trying to share my screen. I'm not sure if I need some sort of permissions. Let me.
You should be good. Yeah.
Okay. 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 I think I got it. Are you guys able to see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, excellent. Well, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. I don't know where you are located. I am in Nashville, Tennessee. My name is Rebecca DeAngel. I am a molecular scientist by training. I have been in the pharmaceutical industry for over 10 years, as well as the biotech. Most recently at PreciseDx, we developed the first pathology AI test for detection of breast cancer recurrence within 6 years. Now, I lead partnerships and operations at Invention Matters, which you might think is a big jump from biotech pharma into intellectual property. Invention Matters is a specialized intellectual property firm. We help innovation-driven companies turn technical, scientific information and scientific work into patents and intellectual property strategy that actually creates business value. In simple terms, the ideas your teams are already building should not stay hidden in labs or engineering desks. They should be captured, they should be protected and positioned to support how your company grows and creates value. Here is what sets us apart. Most intellectual property firms do one of two things. They either file patents or they advise on strategy. At Invention Matters, we do both through what we call our patent fire model. That means every filing is handled by PhD level subject matter experts that have industry experience and that are working alongside veteran patent attorneys. So your patent is not just technically accurate, it is drafted for enforceability, which really matters when you are sitting across from a licensee or an investor or even litigation. So think about it this way. A lot of patents look strong on paper, but they fall apart under pressure. Ours are built for that pressure. There are a few shifts that are worth paying attention on in the side of intellectual property. First, I will say innovation is more distributed than ever. Innovation teams, founders, and where innovation is coming from is global now and is moving really fast. And that makes it much harder to track what is actually inventive, to see what is new, what are you bringing to the market that the competition is not already providing. Second, AI is changing how we identified invention in the first place. Not just how we draft the patent, but what qualifies this innovation as patentable. Third, disciplines are converging. As I mentioned in the introduction, my experience is in molecular biology. Now I am in the biotech area. We have engineers in our teams, we have chemists, we have a wide range of disciplines that make software, biotech, and engineering, and even data science blur together now, which actually creates a very powerful innovation environment. But at the same time, it's also harder to identify what is new and what is protectable. And fourth, intellectual property has become a strategic language. Companies these days are not just using patents to defend themselves. What we are seeing with our clients is that they are using them to communicate value to investors, to partners. When the company is going to be acquired across regions, for example, patents oftentimes demonstrate the value of a company when revenue is not there yet. So the bottom line is this: intellectual property is no longer just protection. It is actually how companies communicate value, uh, capability, and also credibility. And this is not only in their local market, but across markets and across regions. And I think that's why this setting for the global chamber is so relevant for companies that want to bring their innovation to a new market or a new region. So I want to pause here and ask you something. In your organization or in the industries you work with, does IP feel mostly administrative, something handled quietly by legal, or does it feel strategic, something leadership actually talks about? I will take it's a mixture of both.
Who wants to volunteer for that? I would say administrative, at least,
Mhm.
conversations I hear in other companies. But if anyone wants to jump in,
Mhm. Yeah, I guess a follow-up question. Well, if there are any additional comments, that would be great. But a follow-up question to that is, where do you see the biggest challenge? Is it speed of filing, clarity of what is actually patentable, or, just coordination across different jurisdictions? And this is an open question for anyone.
If I may
so
quickly.
go. Yeah,
Yes.
thank you, Marisa. Go ahead.
Yeah, sure thing. Well, I was having a conversation with another member about innovation, Rebecca, and thank you. I'm quiet because I'm absorbing and thinking everything that you're saying. And we were talking about, does patent registration truly reflect the level of innovation in a particular country or region, right? I think one piece it is like, how do we define innovation and what is it that we consider this as innovative? Fantastic, right? And how do we quantify and measure that in a particular country or in a company, in an organization, right? Versus that is actually registered as a patent. I think that there are differences around the world. Other in some cultures it's very important to register and it's at the forefront of people's minds in general, even in the general public, not necessarily like in companies only, versus in other regions of the world and other countries is like, oh, this is something new, this is fun, and people kind of get caught up in the innovative process, but they're not necessarily like, let me patent this and protect it, you know what I mean? So I guess my mind is still kind of like processing those bigger questions. Yeah, I just wanted to throw it out there and get your take on it.
Yeah, no, you are completely right. Because if I speak from the healthcare experience, oftentimes scientists that are generating innovation, they pay more attention to publications, to articles in scientific papers, rather than filing an actual patent. So oftentimes, the interest is for a tenure professor that wants to increase their publication numbers. But at the same time, competition is so fierce in the biotech side of things that companies are not willing sometimes to put their innovation on a patent for fear of the competition. But actually, there are ways, if you think strategically about that, there are ways that you can be protected from the ground, from the start, and not put in jeopardy what is actually your innovation. The other thing is that when patents are delayed and information is put on articles, that becomes prior art. So that actually can work against the innovator in that sense. But like I mentioned at the beginning, different disciplines are blurring so much that now even in the healthcare and biotech sector, the value of patents is being understood early on. I have been part of several investor pitches where you see that these companies, they come not only with one patent file or either provisional or non-provisional, they come already with a patent portfolio because they are realizing the value that these patents are going to bring to their organization in terms of valuation, especially when revenue is not there yet. So yes, thank you for that, Marisa. Okay, I'm gonna move up to the next. And about what we do, I think I have given an overview of that, but this is where we come in. We offer 6 services, and they all serve one focus, which is aligning IP with how the business actually grows. We start with patent strategy filing, enforceability first, patents that maximize value. That is the focus for patent filing. We also handle licensing and monetization, turning IP into revenue through partnerships and negotiations. We do ongoing portfolio management, intellectual property intelligence, like, for example, white space analysis and competitive heat maps to understand where the competition is going, what are the trends of the market, and where your company or your innovation can be successful based on that. We also provide litigation support and commercialization planning, meaning we move intellectual property from concept to market. The thread connecting all of this is simple. We don't treat IP as a compliance function. We treat it as part of how the business creates and protects value, more importantly. We would like to connect with founders, leaders, innovation partners, CTOs, CEOs, and innovation leaders. We are interested in companies in biotech. I lead the biotech side of the company. Edwin, he leads the high tech and deep tech side. So if you go to our website, you're going to see that we have a site for biotech and another site for high tech and engineering. So for the purpose of my presentation today, I'm focusing on biotech, medtech, AI, and of course, engineering-driven industries. We're also interested in partnering with counsel and innovation teams that are looking to streamline how invention is captured. I mentioned counsel because we partner with larger organizations that have in-house counsel already and want to partner with our type of firm for strategy. They do their internal legal work with our in-house counsel, but then we come as advisors for the IP strategy. We're also interested in meeting VCs and private equity-backed companies that are preparing for fundraising or even exit, and also organizations that are operating across multiple regions where IP coordination is getting complicated. For example, about 2 months ago, the USPTO came up with a new rule that for patent filing in the US, it needs to be associated with a USPTO registered professional. So I think what they want to reinforce is standardization, making sure that rejections are minimized because the innovation is coming fully formed, fully prepared, and also trying to defend against AI. Now people are coming up with patents with AI, and when questions from the USPTO examiner come, they don't really know what they created. So the USPTO is trying to minimize that, and now to file in the US, there needs to be local, meaning region representation. So at the end of the day, our focus is straightforward. Innovation should not stay inside the organization. It should be understood, structured, and ready to create value wherever it goes. And I love to hear what you're working on, what are your IP challenges, where IP fits within your organization, or even if it doesn't fit into your strategy. I'm gonna leave you with my email and another email in case there are any additional questions or you want to follow up afterwards. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Rebecca. Any questions from the audience?
Hey, Cesar.
Tamer, go ahead.
Hi, Rebecca. How are you?
Hi, good, thanks.
Do you speak Spanish?
I do.
Muy bien. So, just very quick, I'm interested in connecting with you because I have worked in the medtech industry for several years, and I help companies expand internationally, and I do the whole process for them to grow, from the strategy planning to the execution and launch of the company internationally. And I have a lot of experience in medical devices, like, pacemakers, ICDs, and EKGs, Holters, etc. So would love to connect with you. I like your presentation, and thank you very much for that. And sorry, I don't have any questions, Cesar.
Thank you,
No, that's
Tamer.
fine. I
Very
can I
good to
can
meet you as well, and we can follow up later.
I can put you in
Yes.
touch. Yes, yes. Perfect. And not to put you in the spot, Kurum, but I was curious, Kurum, as your company, and maybe this is not an area that you manage, but as you're looking to expand overseas with this wellness product, is that something, IP is something that is discussed there in the administration, or is something that you've been arranging in every country? If there's anything you can add in that side of things, that would be great.
Yeah, we are looking for partners which can support us with marketing, and we can pay the profit like a partners. This is the strategy, but of course we are open for all kinds of collaboration.
Okay. Can you explain in a minute about the products that you're exporting from Bulgaria?
Yeah, we produce food supplements from Bulgarian wild herbs. We have factory for herbal extracts and also factory for food supplements. So we working of completely closed production circle. We produce food supplements from Bulgarian white herbs. It is very strong herbs because they are wild and give very good activity of the products. So we are not like other companies. Our products is very searching because they are very clean and natural. Also, they are for vegan. So I think we have potential. So I'm open to speak with everyone because not depend from me. I'm just one agent, and I give the
I see.
information to the boss, and if boss decide, of course, we continue ahead. So this is, but we are looking especially for distributors, fitness centers, sports teams, bodybuilders, drugstores, gym stores. So we are working. We are looking for people, for active people, for people active, and for people which want a healthy life.
No, thank you, Kurum. We got two members that were not able to join today, so that's why I allow a little bit of a longer presentation. And I see Marisa, you have, well, sorry, let me just wrap up with Rebecca. And thank you, Kurum, and thank you very much, Rebecca. I have a couple of ideas for connections as well. I know we've been connecting you to a couple of people, but the presentation today was helpful. Um, Marisa, you have a question for Matt.
Yeah.
I saw your hand at the beginning of the session, so go ahead. We got a little
Thank
bit
you.
of time.
Thank you so much. Yes, Matt. I wanted to make sure that the conversation went, but I wonder if you can tell us a little bit more about travel currently in the UAE and generally in the GCC area. I understand that internally in the region it's kind of like back to business as usual, I imagine different countries have different levels of activity out there in the streets. I don't know. That's what I'm curious about. Can you tell us a little bit more of traveling there for the rest of us outside of it that have been working with the GCC? Is it safe for us to book travel and continue our business as usual? What are your thoughts?
Look, in my opinion, and it is only in my opinion,
absolutely, yes, sir.
It's safe to travel here.
Okay.
I've personally been traveling with work very recently in and out of the UAE, not within region. I traveled to a conference the week before last that was in Malta and had no issues traveling there and back. I left my family here whilst I traveled, so I had no concerns about their safety whilst they were here and I wasn't. And look, I think things have definitely calmed down, and long may that continue. So if you had plans to come, I wouldn't delay those plans. The one thing I have heard is obviously tourism is way down in comparison to the norms for this region, and I think one of the major driving factors around that is the fact that apparently people can't get travel insurance if they're traveling here. So that may be impacting why people are maybe thinking twice about committing to the travel plans that were common practice a couple of months ago. So that's the only thing I would say. But in general, and to be honest, even over the last couple of months, at no point have I felt in kind of any immediate danger. It's been quite the experience with the odd missile kind of being intercepted overhead. But other than that, it's all good.
Fantastic. Thank you. And that's what I've heard from my contacts is that, in the first few weeks, you have to be comfortable with the sounds. And, but it seems that it has decreased significantly. And if business travel, it has resumed or is, as usual, hopefully, inshallah, tourism will pick up in the near future and we'll go back to normal. Thank you.
Yeah, I think after the summer for sure. And it's the alarms that go off on your phone that's much worse than the bangs in the sky. So
yes, the phone alarms. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you. And thanks, Marisa. Nikhil, going back to you again. I think you had a video, so we got 3 or 4 minutes to wrap up, and happy to give you the space to share that video with us, and then we close the call.
Perfect. Sounds great. Thank you, Mr. Caesar. I know there's not much of it. Okay, so this is one of my long-standing clients. There are multiple video testimonials, but I'll just quickly show that. Just hang with me, Mr. Caesar. You'll have to confirm whether you are able to hear this and see this. So just hold on.
This is Devraj Shah from EPP Composites and the Director of International Business.
Are you able to hear this and see this, Mr. Caesar?
We can hear it. I would say just because of the timing, just keep it like that. We can hear it.
Okay. You can't see the video?
No.
Oh, okay. I don't know what's.
And we can. The sound is really bad from your side now. I would just play it. We can hear the testimony.
Okay. Hold on. I'll just play it for you. Surprising.
Okay, no, we can't. I think we're gonna need to do it for the next time.
Okay, here it is. This is a private video testimonial, but
this is Devraj Shah from EPP Composites and the Director of
I think you can see it now as well.
At EPP. Today, I want to express my deepest gratitude to the
The audio is pretty bad. So
for completing 3 years for providing invaluable advisory for the international business for EPP.
Okay. Well, then we keep it for the next time. No worries.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you. Thanks again, Matthew, Nikhil, and Rebecca for your time today, and thanks for everyone who joined us and participated, asked questions. That's the idea. If you learn about something or about someone today and are interested to connect, feel free to reach out to me. If you want to participate and present in one of these League of Opportunities, let me know. Happy to put you in one of the slots in the coming month. Thanks again, everyone. I don't know, Doug, I saw your name around. I don't know if you want to say a few words. Otherwise, I will just close the room and wish everyone an amazing weekend.
Thank you, Laura, for joining while you're getting your car fixed. Does anybody have any last minute stuff that you want to announce? Anybody that hasn't spoken? I see Izzy in here and Bernd. Welcome. The Global Chamber Phoenix event is coming up in 3 hours. Join us there. The Texas event is coming up in 1 hour. So join us today. And then there's actually a great event, marketing sales, global marketing sales on Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific time. So afternoon, about 5 p.m. London time. So check that out. It's a new to the calendar item. Anybody have anything?
One quick thing, Doug. Thank you. I am probably creating an umbrella type company for importing food products like species and condiments and maybe even salsas and things like that.
Okay.
If anybody knows any company, small company that would be interested, I could put them together with the ones that I already have, and it might be an interesting way to enter the US market.
There are 22 groups that have formed within Global Chamber. One of them is food and beverage, and one of them is ag. The ag and ag tech side of it is going to be kicking off on June 8th at the Global Chamber Alberta session, and we have the Chief Technology Officer from Kubota speaking at that. There's also a venture capital group that does agricultural investments. So June 8th is that event. Sign up, and Brett McMickle is going to be amazing. The food and beverage side is going to be really exciting too. So if you'd like to be part of those, just tell Globy and she'll let us know. We'll get you involved.
Okay.
Back to you, Cesar.
Rebecca, you wanted to say something else? I saw your hand. Go ahead, you're mute.
No, I'm sorry. I clicked the wrong button.
No worries, no worries. And I want to apologize, Nikhil. I realized the sound issue is my laptop. So
can I play
no
it
one,
again?
no one jumped in, no one corrected me. So that's my bad. That's my bad. I just having an issue that all of a sudden happened now. So sorry for that. But thanks everyone. Thank you, Doug, and let's just see you in the next event and watch for those connections coming.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Muchas gracias. Thank you, everyone.
Appreciate it.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.